to the 2025 Concorso Ferrari. You're looking high above the exquisite Casa Ferrari, watching that prancing horse parade make its way to the first hole here at the beautiful Pebble Beach. It's a celebration of passion, of performance, and 8 decades of Ferrari racing history. It's already been a stunning day here on the Monterey Peninsula. I'm Amanda Busick alongside Le Mans winner Justin Bell. It's good to see you again, but first let's get into what's Monterey Car Week.
I think it means something special to each and every one of us. Obviously, there's a lot of legacy to the sport, to the hobby, as we call it, of collector cars and the history on this peninsula is beyond reproach. And of course, Ferrari have been a part of that from the early days, racing around 17-mile drive, and of course, winning the Pebble Beach Concours d'Elegance in 2014 with a post-war car. But for everyone gathered here today, it really is about Casa Ferrari and this truly glorious display of cars behind us. I think everybody here is feeling the magic, and I call them Pebble Beach moments, and we're having one right now.
Yeah, I'm not kidding you. As we were sitting here to start this show, you can hear the Ferrari engines park on this lawn, and the guy with the best seat in the house, we welcome into the broadcast Hall of Fame driver, Tommy Kendall.
Well, I would not trade my spot for anyone. The cars are literally filing off, and it's like museum pieces, one after the other. But the way my phone's been blowing up, this is the hottest ticket in town. There's a lot going on this week, but influential and well-known people blowing me up saying, can you get me into Casa Ferrari? So I feel pretty fortunate about that. This is the place to be.
Well, and leading that parade here was that F80. And Justin, you were telling me that that thing was almost being assaulted here this weekend.
Yeah, we took it out. I was in a 296 Speciale as well behind. Tommy was in a Roma, and we drove out to get some photographs down by, the iconic 17-mile drive by the water. And I've never seen this legion of young boys and girls, all with their own cameras, all YouTubers, literally hanging out of cars. And we thought, well, first of all, driving the F80 round here is a bit like putting a super bike in your kitchen and riding it around. It's not the right environment. And we thought, let's discretion better part of valor. Let's head back in it. But to see that car out there, first time anyone's seen it move in North America, it was pretty impactful.
You have a busy day ahead. Who are you talking to out here?
Flavio Manzoni, my favorite style icon, really, obviously head designer for Ferrari. And I always look at him and go, I should have tried harder with my wardrobe. But we're gonna talk about the evolution of the supercar. Thank you. And the other guests are the cars.
Well, I'm happy to also announce that we will have the newly appointed president of Ferrari North America, Luca Zanetti, stopping by as well. And we are going to be talking a lot about the auction that is happening tonight. Actually, everyone here that is at Casa Ferrari with us, there will be a live stream after ours to look at the Daytona SP3. It's a tailor-made Ferrari that'll cross the block. We have high expectations on that tonight. And Tommy, I know we've been talking about racing and 80 years of racing in Ferrari, and I'm sure you're standing by with a special piece here with us today.
Well, specifically Le Mans. They've been racing in Le Mans for over 100 years, and so a lot of people have won. But there's a difference between winning and dominating. If you think about in any sport, whether it's Jordan with the Bulls or Brady with the Patriots, it's domination that makes dynasties and icons. And that's exactly what Ferrari did at the start of the 60s at Le Mans. They absolutely dominated. 6 consecutive wins from 1960 to 1965. Most of them were podium sweeps, including some top 6 positions. And so they literally sucked all the air out of the room and established themselves as the people to beat at Le Mans. And on the field with us today are a couple of the cars that were part of that domination. This one right next to me is a 250 GTO that finished second in 1963 and also won the Tour de France. But this is a car that back then there was style. They literally drove them on the street and raced them. And so aerodynamics had not come into play as much. And so everything didn't have to be functional. So they're just mouth-wateringly beautiful. But true to the tradition, the current owner of this car really enjoys it. In the last several years, you see this car driving around the streets of Monterey. I've seen the son and the daughter of the owner driving it to the racetrack, driving it to get coffee. Literally a priceless machine. You got to appreciate that sort of passion and sharing it, not keeping it in a museum like a China doll. On the other side of the field is another car that the next generation in 1965 finished second. It was a privateer 250 LM. Now that car, a little bit of a controversy with the FIA, they would not rule it as a GT car, which hurt it in sales on the street because that was the appeal. You drive it and you race it. But that car made the mark, was the final end, 1965, of that domination. But there was a second period of domination 60 years later, namely right now. It's still ongoing. The streak is en route. It's up to 3, and the final chapters aren't written. And with more on that is Justin Bell.
Well, thank you, Tommy. Being out here with these incredible cars is a little bit enough to render even me without any words. But when I get to the 499P Modificato, it all comes together. You mentioned Ferrari's current era of dominance at Le Mans. Well, 2023, 2024 as factory cars, and then this year in June they won in the hands of a privateer team, which is extraordinary. Now that car wasn't in the trademark red and yellow that we've seen over the last 2 years. Instead it was all yellow, and here we have a beautiful example of the 499P Modificato. Now this is an extraordinary vehicle. It is the pinnacle of Ferrari's engineering, but available only for non-competitive use on the track, and of course it's derived from the 499P. So how do you end up in one of these? Well, you really should go through the entire Corsa Clienti program, reach the elite status at the top, and you, if you're eligible, could be in one of these cars. I mean, it is literally the same car in so many ways that they raced at Le Mans. Just take a look inside. I'm going to get my camera to show you inside. You can see the headrest, you can see the controls. This car doing 222 miles an hour down the straight at Le Mans, it was an era of dominance. Now don't forget, when Enzo Ferrari debuted in 1947, the Ferrari 125S, that was the legacy that really established Ferrari in motorsports. And here we have an example of what happens when Ferrari's racing history, the way it empowers the gentleman driver, which of course was a big part of the day. The car is ready to be raced, not raced, but driven on the racetrack by today's pioneering gentlemen and ladies. Anyway, an absolutely beautiful car. And of course it rises right behind it to the F80, which I'm going to get to in a little bit. But you've got a generational shift from the era Tommy is talking about in the 60s to another era of domination now. I'd love you to take a look at this film coming up, which is an exclusive club. We're calling it the Supercar Club, and the lucky men and women that are a part of it.
Car guys are born car guys. You know, they just somehow something connects with them with the mechanics and however it works. I don't know, I like telling stories, you know, and having a theme to what I collect instead of just randomly collecting. The supercar family lineup is very special. It's always the most ultimate in performance at the time. So then when somebody comes to my garage, they can see the evolution of how Ferrari came from 1964 to the present. So my name is David S.K. Lee. Today we are in Walnut, Southern California. I got the ketchup and mustard and relish collection here, which is the red cars, which is supercars, yellow cars, supercars, and green cars, more the modern supercars. But I feel with this strategy, I could capture the attention of Ferrari, and they would feel that, you know, maybe this guy's kind of crazy and a little bit and special in terms of how he's doing strategy. So that's one thing. My first collector's Ferrari was an Enzo, 2003 Enzo. So I was thinking, well, as I understood that to be the fourth supercar, since I have that car, why don't I collect the other big five? I bought the F40 next, then it was the F50, then it was the 288 GTO, and then it was the LaFerrari Coupe. Of course, red is more made, so it's a little easier to accomplish. I thought it'd be really cool to be able to collect yellow because that would probably be the second most produced color. And I knew that the LaFerrari and the Enzo and the F50 was produced in yellow originally. And then I would just have to somehow find F40 and 288. I would say in all, it probably took me 7 years to collect. So now, of course, I drive all my cars because the visceral feeling, the feeling you get and what you remember, nobody can take that away. Even when you sell the cars, you always have that in your mind. One of my stores, Heng Hua Lee Jewelers, is in this plaza. With this store in Walnut, I was able to put my 2002 F1 car that was driven by Michael Schumacher in my lobby of my store. Maranello had offered me that car, and I said I wanted to buy it. And so I've had that car for a number of years. You know, when people visit me, my friends, they can have the full experience. You know, they can come and see my stores, because a lot of car guys are watch guys. It's me, it's my, personification of what my passion is. So I understand the collecting kind of mentality because I'm in the business of selling watches, fine watches, and my customers collect watches as just like I collect the cars, right? The process, the waiting time, the relationship that's built with the store. But in collecting, I guess it wouldn't be as fun if I just got the car right away. You had to find the right ones, you know? I mean, even the choice of only collecting Ferraris, that I'd rather be important to one brand than not important to many brands. So, of course, you guys announcing the next supercar, the sixth supercar has just been produced and revealed, the F80. Of course, I'm very excited. Of course, I wanted to be offered that car, and I was offered that car. So I already had spec'd it with TaylorMade, and it'll be red. I can say it'll be red, the next one. I'm hoping when the Spider comes out, I can do that in yellow, because I do the red and yellow, as you know. In the world of cars and Ferrari, I did get a lot of notoriety. It was certainly a journey that a lot of people followed. I was a little bit OCD about it to do that. So for the fact that I have all 5 in red and yellow, I'm pretty sure nobody has that. And that makes it very special to have the only collection in the world like that.
And what an amazing look at a collection of David Lee. You're high above here at Casa Ferrari yet again as the celebrations continue for our 2025 Racing Heritage Celebration. And now, as promised, I'm joined by the president of Ferrari North America, Luca Zanetti. And I got to catch up with you a little bit at a Ferrari Challenge race earlier in the year at Indy, but we were talking about this show right here. What's your experience been like so far?
Well, my experience has been extraordinary, because you can just look around, and this is an incredible place. It's called Casa Ferrari because it's a home. The word Casa means home for our clients, for all the passionate friends of the Ferrari brand. And my start at Ferrari North America has been incredible. I'm taking over for a dear friend, a great person, Matteo Torre, who has done a fantastic job, driven by dedication and passion. And now being here, there is such a long history of love and passion between Ferrari and America that makes it very unique. I was born 3 miles away from Maranello, but if I have to think of a place that feels like Maranello outside of Maranello, well, I would think of America. And in a way, it's almost like feeling like home.
For those joining us on the broadcast, there are probably hundreds of people here at the Casa Ferrari watching this show, but I do want to point out that there are hundreds of Ferrari fans and faithful lining the lawn here today. What does this moment mean to Ferrari?
This is an incredible moment for all of us, because it's at the heart of the celebrations of the Ferrari year. It's Casa Ferrari, and it's inside the Pebble Beach Car Week. It's a very iconic moment in the year in America. And this year, the concours has a theme that offered us a very good opportunity. The concours is dedicated to Formula One. And as you know, Ferrari is the only brand that has been racing every race in the history of Formula One. So we took the opportunity to create a theme around our racing heritage. And outside here, you see some behind me, over 70 cars that have been selected among the most stunning cars with a racing inspiration.
Motorsport is such a big topic always, and especially in this celebration for racing heritage for Ferrari. Why is it still so important for the brand?
Racing is at the very heart of Ferrari. Not coincidentally, we have the privilege today to show inside Casa Ferrari the trophy that we won this year in Le Mans. So we won 3 times in a row the 24-hour Le Mans in the top category of the hypercars. And this is just a way for us to express the will to progress that the company has always had in its DNA. So for us, this is an incredible opportunity, and racing is about moving consistently and continuously the limits of possible. That's what Ferrari does.
Now there's a big auction after this, right?
Yes. I think that if we have to say what are the highlights beyond these incredible cars, well, we have tonight an incredible auction. We're going to present a Daytona SP3. It's the car number 599+1. It's a very unique vehicle created by our TaylorMade, and it's going to be auctioned for a very good reason. The Ferrari Foundation is a charity, public charity, 501c3, and it's a great opportunity for us to possibly collect a good opportunity for some people for educational projects.
Now Tommy Kendall's going to talk to us about the Amalfi. Before we get there, tell us more.
The Amalfi, well, you know, this is a car that we believe embodies perfectly the combination between aesthetics, a very pure line, you can observe it, it's very clean, it's like a sculpture, together with great performance. Plus we presented it in a color that is this green, we call it verde costiera, which means as much as green of the coast, that is inspired by the shades of the sea in front of Amalfi. So that is what the Amalfi is about, and we had the opportunity yesterday evening to show the premiere in America for our clients and friends.
Thank you, Luca.
Thank you so much, Amanda.
All right, Tommy, take it away.
I have to follow that accent. It sounds like music. But anyways, I am over here with the Amalfi, which was unveiled in the beginning of July this year. It follows up on the successful Formula Roma before this of the 2+ Berlinetta. But it's one of these things with the named cars. They're meant to, I think, evoke sort of the Dolce Vita. And cars can transport you from point A to point B, but they also can transport you to a different state of mind. And so the Amalfi Coast is one of my favorite places in the world. I picture myself in a tailored linen suit driving with my beautiful wife on the Amalfitano. But let's dig a little more into what makes this package so alluring. You've got this mid-front engine, very powerful V8, 630 horsepower, twin turbo, 3.8 liter. But just the overall approach, when I saw this car for the first time, it looks like a concept car. There is so much refinement, and they call it sculptural minimalism. And it's like Flavio Manzoni and his team just kind of kept just shaving away everything that wasn't the essence of this car. And no matter where you look, it is elegant and beautiful inside and out. But if you look at the front splitter and the rear diffuser, it gives you a little hint that it's still all Ferrari underneath. So while you might not be able to retire to Amalfi, you can give yourself a little bit of a attitude change, whether it's driving home after a tough day at work or on the weekend behind the wheel of an Amalfi. So along the lines of the lifestyle aspect of this, Amanda's going to talk a little bit more about that with Ferrari.
And Tommy, I don't think you have any tough days, and we're certainly not having a tough day here. It has been a celebration all day and an enrichedness of lifestyle, but we were talking about that Daytona SP3 that's going to cross the block later on this evening. In addition to the car, the buyer and owner of the Daytona SP3 is going to receive this. You are looking at the Maranello bag. This bag draws its silhouette from the Ferrari Daytona SP3 hypercar, mimicking its soft aerodynamic lines, narrowing at the waist and flaring at the sides. There's only 9 units per season produced, and clients can further personalize with bespoke options, including colors, as you see there, livery details, and monographing. The bag is crafted at Ferrari's Maranello factory by the same artisans who work on the car's bodywork. Now that is cool. Now also available for purchase in what Ferrari calls the Ferrari Collectibles. This line includes components from race cars, art prints, racing gear, and lifestyle products like luggage, watches, and even furniture. These collectibles are not just souvenirs, they are little slices of Ferrari passion. And as we talk about Ferrari style, I do have to give props off to Ferrari style for my very own outfit here today as we celebrate racing heritage. This is a timeless piece in the collection that started in 2021. It's been so special that even Charles Leclerc had his own capsule as part of Ferrari style. So go ahead and check that out in Casa Ferrari. And as a man that always looks dapper as ever, let's head to our Justin Bell.
Well, thank you, Amanda. I'm glad you're the one that got to wear that dress, not Tommy or I. Well, Tommy mentioned it about Ferrari creating a lifestyle with every era of car. Well, just take a look at this. The 365P Berlinetta Tre Posti came out in 1966. And the first time I saw this car was when it was the Final Four 3 years ago at the overall Best of Show Contenders at the Pebble Beach Concours d'Elegance. And when I saw this car, I thought it must have blown their minds in 1966. Basically, based on the mechanicals from the 365P2 car, it was itself an evolution of the 250LM. It was a purpose-built, mid-engine, road-going Ferrari. And while there may be other cars that signify the legacy of the supercar, this definitely is a vehicle that was inspiring in the road-going format. It features, as you can see, the central driving position, which was decades ahead of any other brand that tried to imitate it. And the external design is accredited to Pininfarina's Aldo Bravaroni, who was creator of all the road-going Dino exterior designs. Well, there were only 2 examples created. This is one of them, so it's so lucky and we're so fortunate to be here. If you are on site, please come and take a look at this car because it is one of the most unique Ferraris ever built. Now it is time for another Ferrari of one of the lucky members of the Supercar Club. And when we come back, I'm with Flavio Manzoni talking about the F80.
Ferrari has always been to be more than just a car. Their car brings out the best in you as a person. It asks you for more, and it rewards you with sound and speed and excitement and stimulates all your senses.
This is his drug. It's what electrifies him. I'm happy that he gets to be around all of this and do it at this level.
You're a better version of yourself behind their cars. You can't say that for any other brand. I'm Dr. Ken Modell. I am a LASIK surgeon that provides eye care all through the state of New York. And as you can see from my home office, I get to sit here and work all day long with great inspiration and beauty next to me.
What if you could tell 10-year-old Ken, what if you could take him into your garage and show him what you've built? Literally, I think he'd pass out.
So I started collecting Ferraris mentally when I was probably 12 years old. But through the 30 years I've been with the brand, and to this day, best part of my week, to hear the engine fire up. I've been a long, long time fan of the brand.
Some of my first memories surround cars, and being the only girl in the family, funnily enough, I'm the most interested and inclined towards cars, and specifically Ferraris.
I have everything on order. We have the F80 on order, the 296 Lotte. The cars I chose to collect are the ones that are the most visceral, the ones that make you feel the most alive. First drove the F12 TDF. To this day, is still one of my favorite cars. And then, of course, the F40. 36 years later, you still walk in, and generally that's the first car people will ask about. Of course, the LaFerrari is the pinnacle. That's why they called it the Ferrari. What's better than a V12 mid-engine sitting right behind you that has sumptuous beauty on the outside that you're privileged to own? One of the things that I always say about a great car is no matter how your day was, if you can sit behind it and put a smile on your face, that's a car you want to own. So the other wonderful part about being a Ferrari collector, but also as a member, of course, of Cliente and also Club GT, is I've got a lot closer with my family, particularly my daughter. She has driven an XX, and we've been around the world together.
I'd always been a viewer, a fan, an interested party, and watching what my dad is doing. But Corsa Pilota was a way for me to get into the action myself.
My favorite memory is watching Samantha drive my 599 XX in Italy, to watch her behind that beast.
And I was shaking getting into that car. I kept saying, maybe I won't do this. My dad's like, you can do it. You can do it. Just like any guy, why not? Why shouldn't you be able to get in this car and drive?
Sam, congratulations. some speed on that.
Honestly, having dinners with my club members in XX and also Club GT, hearing about different parts of the world, their work, their industry, exposing yourself has really been expansive for me as a person and truthfully inspirational. Because I think at any stage who you are, you can look up and look down at what you've achieved. And although I have a nice collection, there are guys who have bigger collections, but it inspires you to keep going, to keep achieving, to keep growing. So Ferrari has, for me, as a company, helped me expand myself as a businessman, as a family member, and as a collector.
I say it all the time. I'm proud of where he came from. I'm proud of how he inspires us to do our best every single day. Ferrari is an extension of that. I know that it's so fulfilling for him, and in turn, it's fulfilling for me to see him get to live that dream.
You know what? You just gave me goose pimples, because to this day, you walk in, I even get emotional. Because it's just the pinnacle of many years of hard work. You know, it always gives me excitement to be down here. Now I get to work here, and I get to share with my daughter.
You got to soak that in. You have to really feel how unbelievable all this is. Yeah.
Thanks, Sam. I love you too.
Love you. It's true. It's all true. None of that's fluff. It's all true.
Well, I'm here with the man. I call you the man of style, Flavio, because you really are head of design for Ferrari. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again, and thank you for so much.
Yeah, well, we always have our yearly chat out here, and every year you raise the bar. Now, yeah, I think you do. You know, we're obviously with the 499p Modificato there, and with the new F80 behind. Before we talk about the F80 on its own, what are there's DNA from both that car, the track car, to the F80.
Yeah, there is a very strong link between these two projects. So, and I really love the 499p because it's an incredible project where designers and engineers could work together for the first time on a car that had to win, and by the way, won 3 times at Le Mans. So you can imagine the level of involvement on a project like this. Okay. Trying to make it as much beautiful as possible, but respecting the performance and that makes this car so powerful and so incredible. So there's a link because technically they share the same, let's say, technology. So same engine, hybrid technology, and so on. So when we started that project, my team and I, we first of all we needed to know exactly what was needed for this performance, this level of performance. Just consider that in aerodynamic terms, this one is able to generate let's say download of 1,000 kilograms, more than 1,000 kilograms at 250 kilometers per hour. So it's a very technical object, and we try to convey this technical spirit to the project, nevertheless also giving the feeling of a kind of a spaceship. So the car looks very modern, very futuristic, and take in consideration that we didn't start with a preconceived idea, okay? So we wanted to really create a perfect merge between art and science, and you look at the car, it's so original, so new, so advanced.
And of course, it has that form and function, which is such a part of what you do. But 1,200 horsepower, 900 from the internal combustion engine, 300 from the electric engines, with complete control over the differential, the way you can distribute the power. This is unseen technology, Formula One technology.
A monster. It's a monster.
But also,
I drove it in the track, and it's unbelievable, unbelievable. Such an incredible beast.
Can we just quickly look here? Because some of the aerodynamic aids, I urge everyone to come and have a look. We can see down in there effectively shortening the wheelbase of the car by having the big intake there, just like the Le Mans car.
You can see through, you see the ground, because actually the concept is a 3-wing concept on the front. So that's why also we wanted to highlight one of them, integrating the lights into this technical wing in the front. Then also on the rear, we made something really strong. So there is an active rear wing which has different positions that looks very integrated when it's down, and very extreme when it's up.
The side is striking to me because I think of you as a man who likes curves, but the side doesn't have the same curve.
Pure architecture, pure architecture. And look at this. The cabin has been done in a. It looks like a kind of cockpit, okay, aeronautic cockpit, very small, very compact, because we decided to stagger the two seats, and this means also that we had the possibility to put them closer each other. Okay, this helps a lot the drag, and also helps also to generate this very generous shoulder, and in order to use all their flows and maximize the effect of their flows on these air intakes. By the way, the air intake is very beautiful because it's an iconic element. It recalls the NACA air intake that is present on the first Ferrari supercars. It's an iconic element that has been very important to collect all the functions of this area.
When I was behind this in the 296 Speciale, and we tried to do a photo shoot, the first time anyone in North America had seen it on the road, they lost their minds. Yeah. Flavio, I mean, the worldwide response to this car has been incredible. But across here, as a designer, so my final question to you is, you have so much inspiration to pull from. Ferrari has a war chest of amazing designs and innovation. You must find so much inspiration and confidence from that history.
Well, as you can see here, the idea was to generate a very new identity, but nevertheless representing all the functionality and the power of the car. There are some subtle, how can I say, homages to the tradition. You can see, for example, the front fender, which recalls the F40. Yep. Nevertheless, everything starts from the functionality, because it was necessary to have a clear cut here, and it's a nice way also to make a nice composition. So a very dynamic form, but also vertical and very controlled lines, generating this new, let's say, design language.
Well, I think we're very fortunate. I always feel like I've had an insight lesson every year from you. I cannot wait till next year so we see what else. Flavio, thank you so much. Everybody, Amanda, I know you have another important executive, but I feel I just learned a lot. Thank you so much.
JB, I think we all got the lesson there, and you weren't wrong at all. I saw so many cell phones out around that F80. It's just absolutely beautiful for a celebration here. Established in 2006, Ferrari Classic A is a specialized division of Ferrari dedicated to the certification, restoration, and preservation of classic Ferrari cars. Let's keep those legends alive. Andrea Modena on stage with us now, the man behind the division. What is the mission of Ferrari Classic A?
Preserving the heritage of our founder, first of all, his idea of cars and the history of the company through the preservation of all our models.
Well, we know we have a lot of those versions behind us here today. What are some of the ones that exemplify that core mission that you just talked about?
The number of cars we have behind Casa is incredible. The history is an incredible 70 years history. I think that with all the due respect for all of them, we can start considering the car that is actually on display, which is the 166 Corsa Spider. A car which is among the very first produced, is a 1948 car, is an incredible car preserved in its authenticity, really having the duty to keep the history alive.
Off camera, we were just talking about the celebration, and even you were just impressed with how many people here with us tonight to take in this celebration. On that lawn, what are you specifically proud of?
Oh, wow, that's a very hard question. You're putting me in trouble, Amanda. Oh, every one of them is a very unique, very specific, and also the people that today are preserving this car, owning, collecting this car for the future are very special one. If I'm not wrong, we are in California. Would be nice to mention one, which is the 250 California Rome wheelbase alloy, known as Competizione, which was a car 250 California Spider, so paying homage to this country, to the California state, which was a car specifically requested for many years by Chinetti to our founder, to Enzo, which at the very beginning was a bit resistant in producing the car. And then in the end, it results in one of the most beautiful cars we had, a car that has an incredible racing history, so literally bringing the race to the road in an incredible elegance.
Well, we are so happy to have you with us here again. You're like a regular for us every year at the Concorso Ferrari. What's your favorite part of Monterey Car Week?
Ah, you like putting me in trouble with many different... Well, let's play fair in the right way. The people that express their passion for the car in general, for Ferrari specifically. We were starting with Luca speaking about Casa Ferrari, so the home of every Ferraristi. If you were looking at the number of people just waiting the parade of the car to be parked here with us, the number of people looking at this incredible list of cars, group of cars representing the history. I think that this is the most interesting and nice part of the Monterey Car Week.
It's absolutely stunning, Andrea. And as we kicked off the show, we talked about nearly 8 decades of racing heritage here with Ferrari. And there is the red thread of Ferrari that connects from the racetrack to the road. Justin Bell, what do you have?
Of extraordinary supercars here, and I'm by an F50. Now, the F50 was created to honor the 50th year of Ferrari, and just take a look at it. It is truly an extraordinary beast. It was really built to bring Formula One style technology directly to the road. That 4.7 liter naturally aspirated V12, that came straight out of the 1990 Ferrari 641 Formula One car. Now, I've driven one. It is a raw, analog experience. Has no power steering, no ABS, and minimal driving aids. And believe me, there's moments when you're behind the wheel of this that you wish it did give you a bit more support, because this is a manly man's car. Now, 30 years after its debut at the Geneva Auto Show, it really does still stand as one of the purest race cars for the road ever. Now, if we move over here, Mauro, just a quick... We're on an Enzo. Now, this was created in 2002. 7 years later, this is when Ferrari would debut its 21st century technological abilities, and it was named, of course, after Enzo himself. A little story, I was 18 years old. I just started racing. My father raced for Enzo in Formula One in 1970, and so we went to see him. And he asked me what my ambitions were in Italian, and I said, I'm going to be the next British Formula One driver for Ferrari. I wasn't. Nigel Mansell was, but he gave me a necktie as a token, maybe of commiseration, because he knew it wasn't going to happen. But it was like meeting the Pope. It was a truly amazing moment. Of course, the thing with supercars is it takes incredible drivers and an engineering team to pull it together. And Michael Schumacher, at the height of his career, was involved with the Enzo, pulling it together, using his experience, and it carried over so much. Carbon brakes, carbon ceramic brakes, the transmission, the carbon fiber technologies, the ground effects. It was a truly special car. Anyway, Amanda, when you think about it, this is the kind of car that inspired generations of teenagers to look at the poster on their wall, especially our next video, which is a film about another member of the Supercar Club who definitely got the bug bitten badly.
It's amazing with these cars, you know, I say it gets me every time. And it's the truth, it gets me every time. I could own a car for 10 years but every time I see it, it still grabs me in a way that's just incredible, like literally soul satisfying to see these creations. Hi, my name is Roger Monteforte. I'm fund manager at Innovation X. Since a little kid, I've been addicted to cars, anything and everything automotive. But for me, the top of the food chain, the absolute pinnacle, is Ferrari. So when I was actually able to fulfill that childhood dream and acquire a Ferrari, it was really an incredible experience, and I've been absolutely addicted ever since. I think my collection on whole is fairly eclectic. So we have F50, Monza SP1, Daytona SP3, 12 Competizione, and let me look. Yeah, then the TDF. I always veer towards the race-inspired Ferraris, or Ferraris that have some sort of connection to motorsport. I like the more stripped down, the more raw street versions of cars that are inspired by race cars. So I did 2 years of Ferrari Challenge. I jumped right into the deep end. I skipped the Club Challenge, went straight into racing. It was really one of the most incredible experiences of my life. I mean, not only for just obviously the adrenaline and the rush and the relationships you form, even transcending that into everyday life and even in my corporate life, it's had a positive impact just due to the fact of how much concentration it takes, how much effort it takes, and then facing incredible fear of getting behind the wheel of a car with 700 horsepower with 30 other cars on track and actually racing bumper to bumper and being able to tackle that fear, overcome it, and then actually be successful. It kind of puts things in perspective, kind of minimizes challenges off the racetrack, and maybe things aren't as difficult as they once appeared, given the fact that I was able to meet that challenge and not only meet it, but excel within it. For me, I just see a car and it sort of speaks to me. You know, I could look at a car like the Competizione, which is a really bold spec. It's a bright blue with yellow. And then I look at the F80, and to me, it's just sinister. It's black. It has to be black. I think the personality really lends itself to the way I spec a car. By far and away, the F50 is really my favorite. Not only my favorite car in the collection, it's my favorite car ever made. It's the only car I can think of, especially the Ferrari lineup over the years, that borrows the engine from an F1 car, mid-engine, topless, 6-speed gearbox. You can't get a more visceral, mechanical experience driving a car. When the car comes alive above 5,500 RPMs, for me, it's like a religious experience. I did the Legacy Rally for the F50, one of the greatest experiences of my life. To have an F50 drive it through the hills of Tuscany and Florence amidst over 20 other Ferrari F50s was really an absolute mind-blowing experience, one of the greatest experiences of my life. To drive it and to feel that history and to feel that connection with the car, it's just truly magnificent.
From the start, Enzo Ferrari believed deeply that competition should serve as the blueprint to drive innovation. While simple, the beauty of that is it can be applied to any type of racing, any type of powertrain that the regulations dictate. While most people associate Ferraris with the powerful V12s, and rightfully so, if you're a student of Ferrari competition history, you know that V6s serve an absolutely vital role in establishing and cementing the racing legacy. Now, today we're going to celebrate two different V6 stories separated by 60 years. In 1965, Ludovico Scarfiotti, look at him on these roads usually associated with the Tour de France. And right behind his head was this incredible V6 screaming at 9,000 RPM, putting out over 218 horsepower. The beauty of this engine is the compactness and that high output for the lightweight. Only 2 liters, 218 horsepower. Now jump forward 60 years into the current domination at Le Mans by the 499P. It's powered by another V6. Now look at this one. There is a lot more going on here. It is a much flatter 120-degree V6. The weight gets lower and it gives you room for these turbochargers in here. It's also a hybrid powertrain so that you've got a bunch of extra accessories on the engine. But look at how they have machined away every bit of mass to make the thing as light and as stiff as they can. Modern techniques have elevated these engines to the point where they're literally mechanical jewelry. You could arguably put a clear body on these cars, but that's not what happens. They get wrapped in incredible bodywork. But some people like to make their Ferraris entirely their own. For more on that personalization, let's go to Amanda.
Thank you, TK. Yeah, I can see everyone's eyes on the screens taken in that one. And back on stage with now is Flavio Manzoni. And when we were watching that Roger Monteforte piece, you were pointing at the screen here and you said that one is tailor-made. And
there were some.
I'm sure. As we are going to dive into that, I bet you there are some Ferrari owners and collectors here that are very well aware of the personalization dreams with Ferrari. Two programs there, the Atelier as well as TaylorMade, and that Daytona that is going across the block tonight, that is tailor-made by you. What are some of the design specs that you love on that one?
Well, it's such an incredible project because I love the car. The shape of the car is so beautiful, so let's say even sexy, let me say. So it was very nice to find a way to put a very original livery. So we decided to play with yellow and carbon exposed. The original idea was, let's make something very artistic. So we drew inspiration from pop art. Maybe nobody knows that, but I think there is a beautiful pop art effect on the use of the beautiful Ferrari logotype that we, for the first time, we used as a center fascia, so kind of beautiful livery. And the car has two sides, so two souls. Somehow it also creates not only a bridge with art, but also a bridge between car design and lifestyle, Ferrari lifestyle. Probably you noticed that, which is, I think, very beautiful. Connecting different worlds is something really magical, in my opinion.
I was able to get a special look at the SP3 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway earlier this year, and I think my jaw just dropped when I saw it. You're headed to the auction.
Yeah.
What's your emotion right now?
Very emotional. I'm waiting. Yeah.
What are you going to say?
Did you see the interior? The interior is fantastic because it has such an incredible personality by using new patterns. For example, we use the Cavallino logo on the seats, but in a very original way, using a recyclable material. It's the Q-cycle material using recycled tires. Incredible. And a new type, not a new type, a very spectacular effect on the carbon fiber that is exactly, the checkered flag carbon fiber that we use on our Formula One cars. So also, again, the link also with the races is very strong on this beautiful Daytona 499+1.
Well, not to put you on the spot, but I did Andrea Modena as well. What are you proud of that's here?
Proud of?
What are you proud of that's out on the lawn?
Many babies. Many babies. I don't have the favorite one. All babies are good. Are beautiful.
Well done on the Daytona. It's spectacular.
Thank you. Impresses.
All right, Justin, as our roster continues to fill up here for an exciting day of celebration here at Casa Ferrari, you're catching up with someone special.
Well, I think I am. You go from the beautiful cars to the beautiful people. Kay Adams, who's a top TV host and sports commentator. You may know her well. Kay, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me back. What an exciting day celebrating Ferrari and, of course, Save the Children.
Yes, so, Save the Children, you've been a long-time advocate for them. Talk us through their legacy, what they've achieved over the last 100 years, I think it is.
It has been 100 years. Oh, you did your research. I love that. They have helped change the lives of over 1 billion children across the globe. And of course, here in California, I've done work with them. I've gotten my hands dirty. I've noticed what they've done in a beautiful continued partnership with Ferrari to help impoverish rural communities here in California to provide what is a simple message: a better life, a normal life, protection from harm, education first for all children.
And of course, we've had our fair share of disasters. You're LA based. We've had fires. We've had, seems everything except for a plague of lotus. But talk about what Save the Children's done in this situation.
Save the Children, and of course with Ferrari as a beautiful partner and their support, they jumped on the scene. They wanted to rebuild right away. What can we do? Education first, of course, providing cash, what people needed for children. So always with the child and education leading the way. And I will say this, with Ferrari, they jumped in and they're helping support the rebuilding of a school. Avison School of Leaders, that's Ferrari and Save the Children at the heart. And they just want a normal life for these kids, which we of course all deserve and hope for.
I, 2 years ago, had the huge honor in New York of when they launched the Ferrari Foundation, and we auctioned off this incredible road car for an enormous amount of money. But the room was full of Ferrari aficionados and owners and amazing people. And they really got behind great causes like Save the Children, but all through the conduit of Ferrari. Ferrari just brings emotions. Do you think that helps a little bit? You're surrounded by these beautiful cars, and then it's time to give back?
I think there is a responsibility to give back, and Ferrari is a forward-thinking brand. It's a leader, just like Save the Children. It really has been nice to be sort of a witness to what this partnership has done, to what it's brought. And it's not just the immediate. Save the Children sticks around. It is a legacy brand. It's been around for over 100 years, similar to Ferrari. So I love the immediate work, but there's also what happens in the weeks, the years after disasters take place, to provide relief, to provide education, to provide a sense of normalcy like we're talking about. So I do think that it's a beautiful partnership, as we've seen, and I hear there's a bit of an auction that helps the Ferrari Foundation later. So I hope to hear the bidding loud and clear here in a rainy but beautiful Monterey Car Week.
Well, you're an eloquent spokesperson. Well done, thank you. But also tell us a bit about what you're up to right now. Give a little selfless self-promotion.
Wow, I appreciate you. I am in the middle of a 20-day NFL training camp tour. I met a couple Bears fans here. There's some Packers fans. So I'm full NFL season. It's here, and I'm excited about that. And thank you for that shameless plug. I appreciate it.
Well, I know nothing about what you just said. I'm English, but go and watch her wherever that is. Well, thank you so much.
Appreciate it. I feel like you're giving Commanders fan, new to the game, flashy, Ferrari, fast. I like that. You're going to be a Washington Commanders fan, okay?
I'm going to have to Google it. Anyway, Amanda, thank you so much for being with us. Amanda?
Kay Adams, the host of the Up and Adams show. You can find that it's worth a follow as she traverses the country as we get ready for NFL season. JB, we have champagne up here for you as you rush back. Tommy, does this ever get old?
It doesn't get old, but one thing that I'm struck by is I'm soaking it all in. I knew it wouldn't take him long to get over here.
No.
JB, welcome back.
Cheers,
Only with Ferrari do they let you cocktail while you're on air. So, but when I meant to say it in my open, when you're out here and those cars are filing in, there are not too many brands that can have their very own concorso.
Right.
And there's no filler. Every single one of those cars is significant and valuable. Obviously, we have that auction coming up later today. I mean, everyone's making guesses at whether they think it's safe to say it's going to be more than I can afford. But
cheers to that.
what was your favorite part, JB?
Well, for me, I'm always obviously blown away by the cars, the stories behind the cars. Every car, if you're a 70-year-old car, that's an awful lot of ownership, a lot of legacy, a lot of history. Just to know that Fangio drove that car right there in the Mille Miglia, just the middle one over there. I mean, it blows my mind. I looked at the steering wheel and I thought, his hand held this wiry little wooden steering wheel. To me, it shows that those guys back in the day were so brave, they were so committed, and we're the beneficiaries of that legacy of pioneering spirit. And as you heard from Flavio when he was talking, that energy, that love of life in every element of Ferrari is still apparent. So for me, it's the people and the stories, and of course, being here with you too. What about you, Amanda? What was your best moment?
I just keep shaking my head at all the people that are with us here on the lawn today and here at Casa Ferrari for this 2025 celebration of Concorso Ferrari. If you can hear us, what about a nice round of applause for Ferrari and what we've done here today? Tommy, Justin, is always an absolute treat to hang out with you guys. It is a stunning year in the celebration of 80 years of the racing heritage for Ferrari. That's going to wrap for us here today at Casa Ferrari at the beautiful Pebble Beach here on the Monterey Peninsula. We'll see you next year for the 2026 iteration of Ferrari Concorso.